said, nobody will ever watch this. Nobody will ever watch this because traffic safety is not sexy. Let's talk a little bit about 4 years on YouTube and what 4 years on YouTube has looked like. I'm not one of those superstars on YouTube. I did not go from like 0 to 100,000 people in 1 year. I know there are people out there who have done that. I had to work 3 years before I got to 100,000 subscribers. And last year, this was the year that I got my silver play button, which is up here behind me, up in the corner somewhere. No, I'm not pointing the right way. Over there. I'll just turn around and look, and then that way I can point to it. So this year I got my silver play button, so it's been a really great 3 years. The first 2 years on YouTube, I worked really, really hard. I put up a lot of videos. This year, I didn't do as much work as I should have, and I'm, rethinking everything that I've been doing on YouTube and stuff I'm putting on social media and those types of things. I'm going to try and do better, right? So I'm reconceptualizing what I'm going to do. So I'm sort of looking back on 4 years. So what happened 5 years ago? I went through a divorce. As many of you know, I have 2 kids. At the time of the divorce, they were 3 and 5 years old. She took them with her and took them away from me, which was really, really challenging for me and very difficult for me because in the 5 years that I was with my kids, I was never away from them for more than a day or 2 at most. So I spent a lot of time with my kids. And so when my ex-wife took the kids away from me, that was very devastating for me. That was incredibly hard. Not to mention, I was working at the truck driving school here in town at the time. And that summer, I think there was 1 week that I got like 4 hours. So my job really went downhill at the time. And if you look over here on the website, you can see this log sheet. The plan was in the fall of 2015, I finally came up with a plan to try and reboot my life, so to speak. The plan was I was going to go back driving truck. I was going to drive truck for 10 months. Running long haul, and I was going to make enough money to go back to university. I was going to go and get my teaching degree, and I was going to pursue a career as a teacher. So I told the truck driving school that I was going to quit. I was going to go off and drive truck, and I wasn't going to come back. Well, the owner came and talked to me and convinced me to come back. It wasn't very good because I called the guy that owned the truck, and I said, listen, I'm giving you my 2 weeks notice. I hadn't even got in the truck yet. So I went off and drove truck, and you can see here I'm driving between Vancouver and Edmonton here in Western Canada. So I did that in October for 2 weeks, and then I came back. I went back to the driving school for a period of time. Just while I was driving truck, one of the things that I did, listen to audiobooks. So I went to the library and I picked up a bunch of audiobooks, and they were all fiction, and I was feeling kind of guilty about the fact that they were all fiction. I pulled one of the non-fiction books off the shelf, and I didn't even look at the title or the cover or whatever it was about. I just remember it was purple. That's all I remember. And I thought to myself, well, if I don't listen to it, I can just bring it back. I can just not listen to it. So it laid on the floor of the truck for about 10 days. And then finally I looked down, I saw it there, and I'm like, okay, I'll throw that in, and I listened to it. And it turned out it was Robert Kiyosaki. And some of you may or may not know Robert Kiyosaki is the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And he has a very successful international business, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, has board games, numerous books he's written. And he's been incredibly successful. He's one of the top financial advisors in the world. And I listened to this book, and it wasn't Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It was Increasing Financial Intelligence by Robert Kiyosaki. And he said in the book, he said, you need to build an asset. And I'm like, what is an asset? And he said, an asset is something that will make you money even when you're not there. And he started talking about businesses and those types of things. And he says, if you have a business that you have to show up to every day or it won't continue, that's not a business. He said, you're self-employed. And I'm struggling with this, and I'm thinking, what is an asset? What can I do? What can I build? And so I came back after the 2 weeks off truck. I went back to the driving school. I was working there, and I started doing the videos, right? And I was struggling with social media. Social media can be overwhelming for anybody who's done any sort of social media. You got Facebook, and you got Twitter, and Instagram, and YouTube, and TikTok, and all of these social media platforms, and if you're trying to do all of them, you're not going to do any of them. So I came off the road. I started playing with a little bit of video. I'd been doing a little bit of it before, but I didn't really know anything about online video. And I'd had the Smart Drive Test website on the back burner for a long time. I created that in like 2011 with my good friend Tim Davis, who runs Basic Joomla tutorials. He has a YouTube channel and helps people out to build websites and whatnot. And I came back to the website. I was struggling with the social media, and I think it was November I came across James Wedmore, who's built a very successful YouTube channel. He's built an incredibly successful online business, and he said, you need to build a YouTube channel. And I started making videos. And this video, as I talked to you about in the thumbnail, top 10 tips to pass your road test first time. This video here, top 10 tips to pass your road test first time. This video, I put it up on the 27th of December 2015. So that's almost 4 years to the date. And this video now has almost 900,000 views, 894,000 views. And it's the 4th most popular video on my channel. It's the next video that's going to go over 1 million views. And I remember this video because I was struggling with getting my videos noticed, because the first 9 months there was essentially crickets. May of 2016, on my birthday, I remember begging people for 2 subscribers because I was at 98 subscribers, and I remember begging people to say to me to subscribe to my channel so I could get to 100 subscribers for my birthday. I committed to 2 videos a week, and there was so much to learn. If any of you have done YouTube, have tried to make videos, have tried to put videos up on the YouTube channel, it is an incredible amount of work. Learning the YouTube platform, learning how to make videos, how to do audio, how to shoot videos, and I didn't know anything about video, right? And I was under the misconception that, this was going to be fairly easy because I lectured at universities. I got a doctorate. I taught at the universities. And I thought, well, how hard can this be? But, it took me literally almost 2 years before I developed my on-camera persona. There's a video with me with one arm down at my side because I'm trying to figure out what to do with my hands. And my good friend Tim says to me, I said, what do you think of this video? And he looks at it and he goes, you look like a stroke victim. Because I was only moving one arm for the video. So it took some time, and some of my first videos are not very good. I mean, you look at that video on top 10 tips, and I look very, I look constipated. There's no comfort on camera. So, if any of you are thinking about building an online channel and doing online video, just go with it, because later, when you get good at it, you can have a good laugh about the whole thing, right? All of the experts, Sean Cannell, video influencers, Nick Nimmin, all of the rest of them, they will all tell you your first videos are your worst videos, right? And for anybody who's done YouTube, it's not views, it's not how many subscribers you have, it's watch time. Watch time is what matters on YouTube. So in September of 2016, I got 2 minutes of watch time, 2 days of watch time. And I thought, okay, this thing's finally on. People are now watching this. And it's from September till about November, I made 1 video a day, 6 days a week, which I would not recommend for anybody to do. It's an incredible amount of work. I was working from like 5 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock at night making videos. And, it was an old computer. It didn't work very well. It's not like the setup that I have now, which is like everything runs super fast. So my goal was from September at Christmas to have 10 days of watch time at Christmas. I hit 10 days of watch time in like October, and by Christmas I hit 20 days of watch time. Now I'm averaging somewhere between, 70 and 100 days every day, 1,500 hours of watch time a day. The channel's doing incredibly well, but I want the channel to do better. I think that we can help more people, and I'm going to do a couple of international trips coming up. My goal next year, I have a very lofty goal next year. I want to 10 times the channel. That's my goal. So it's a big goal. So that's essentially the founding story of the YouTube channel and how Smart Drive Test got started. And of course, it's a business. Smart Drive Test is a successful business. I make my living off Smart Drive Test. So it's been very successful. I've helped a lot of people pass their road tests, CDL licenses, motorcycles, trucks, buses, all of that stuff. I've helped people. So, you can do it. And the message, just to kind of come back to what the message of all of this is about my founding story, if you believe magic happens, if you believe that good things will happen to you, if you believe that you're going to pass your road test first time, that will happen to you. I can sit here by myself in my house, in my studio, with my lights and my thing, and I can live stream to the world. It's absolutely incredible. It is so magic, and it's the things that I try to tell my kids. I try and tell my kids, everything you say, everything you think is real. And it truly is. You know, the world is a magic place. The world is incredible. And, you know, if you think certain things, if you shoot for the stars, you can get there. You can get there. Think of it like this. If you take an axe and you go into the forest and you find the biggest tree you can find, say it's like 30 feet around, if you go to that tree every day and you take 5 whacks at that tree, eventually the only thing that stands between you and success is time and space, because eventually you're going to cut that tree down if you come back every day and do the same thing. This is the message that I want to leave with you for the great holiday season. The world is a magic place, and whatever you think is going to be real for you. If you have lofty goals and you take those 5 whacks at it every day, you do the things every day that you need to do, you will eventually grow that. You will eventually be successful. You will eventually get there.